for me again to be your host today. My name is Waranya Ritmat. I do hope you all enjoy our welcoming dinner last night and have an impressive moment experiencing Bangkok nightlife along the Chao Phraya River. And I also fervently hope that you all have a pleasant stay during the last night. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to inform you that we are going to commence this morning's session of the second day of Thailand Halal Assembly with our MOU signing ceremony between the Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University, with our partner from foreign countries, namely Indonesia, Pakistan, and Mongolia. So without further ado, firstly, may I invite Associate Professor Dr. Vinay Dahlan, the founding director of the Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University, to be upon the stage. Next, may I have the honor from the representative of the Faculty of Pharmacy Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta of Indonesia to be on the stage for the signing ceremony. Second, may I have the honor from the representative from the Halal Center, Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta, as well from Indonesia. And the next one, may I have the honor of the representative from Polytechnic Kesehatan Kemangkang Semarang of Indonesia as well. Also, may I have the honor from the representative from Halal Center Universitas Muhammadiyah Semarang of Indonesia. Okay, so that's all for the first round of our signing ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have a big round of applause for the first round of the signing ceremony? Okay. Everyone, please remain on the stage for the photo session. Okay, thank you very much for our partner in the first session. We do hope that this MOU will lead to our stronger cooperation between Thailand and Indonesia. Okay, thank you very much. May I have the honor to invite the representative from the following university for the second round of the signing ceremony. The first one is the Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwokerto. Please be upon the stage. And next may have the honor of the representative from the Institute of Research and Community Service, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwokerto from Indonesia as well. And also may I have the honor from the representative of the Halal Center, Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwokerto of Indonesia. And the last institute for this section is the representative from Pusat Studi Gizi and Halal Center, Universitas Muhammadiyah Semarang of Indonesia. Please be on the stage. Everyone, please look at the camera for the photo session. And also for the video capture. Okay, please stand up for the photo session again. Okay, thank you very much for our respected representative for the second session of MOU signing ceremony. So may I now have the honor from the following representative of academic organization. The first one is the Universitas Jambi of Indonesia. And the second one, the representative from the Universitas Muhammadiyah Mekalang of Indonesia. Next, may I have the honor from the representative of the Universitas Technology Muhammadiyah Jakarta, Indonesia. And the last one for this session, may I have the honor from the representative of the Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Islam Bandung of Indonesia. Please be upon the stage. You can look at camera first for the photo session. So the Halal Science Center Chulalongkorn University, since its establishment, have a very strong commitment to expand our academic cooperation with our academic partner, both inside the country and outside the country. So the Memorandum of Understanding for this academic cooperation and action between the Halal Science Center and our academic partner is aimed to have a joint development of Halal science technology research, Halal forensic science, laboratory, human resource publication, and also to exchange of staff visiting lecturer, professor, and also exchange of student internship. We do hope that this step would help us to strengthen the cooperation with our partner in the future. So again, for the photo session, please smile to the camera. So ladies and gentlemen, can I have a big round of applause for the third session of the MOU signing ceremony? Without further delay, may I have the representative from the following academic institution for the last round of MOU signing ceremony. May I have the honor from the representative of the University Institute of Food Science and Technology, the University of Lahore of Pakistan. Please be upon the stage. And the next one, may I have the representative of Mongolian Halal Development Association from Mongolia. Please be upon the stage. Yeah, so it's time for the photo session. So please smile to the camera. Okay, thank you very much to our academic partner of 14 institutions for this morning MOU signing ceremony. We do hope that this MOU will further promote our exchange of academic cooperation in the future to come. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, may I have the honor to proceed to our fifth session of the international conference. So the Our fifth session of the conference is going to be under the cover of the concept of innovation in Halal sustainability and healthcare. So for this session, we have the honor from Professor Dr. Mien Rice from Ifanka. He is right now Professor of Food Diversity at Ifanka Institution of the United States of America. Actually, you all might have known that Ifanka is a leading Halal certification body and institution in the United States of America. The full name is Islamic Food and Nutrition Council South America. So for this session, Dr. Mien is going to be the moderator of the session and also our speaker as well. This session is also equipped with our respected speaker from two countries. The first one is Associate Professor Dr. Shahid Barshid from the University of Lahore of Pakistan, who is going to deliver his presentation under the topic of consumer confidence in Halal products, the influence of transparent regulatory assessment. And our second respected speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Ropaning Sutlong from the University of Islam Sultan Sharif Ali of Brunei Darussalam, who is going to covering the topic of utilizing anacardium occidental leaf extracts as alternative to the conventional antibiotic against antimicrobial resistant microorganisms. So please wait for a while for the stage arrangement. So I think the stage is ready right now. So ladies and gentlemen, can I have a big round of applause to welcome Professor Dr. Mien Rice from Ifanka upon the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizer for that invitation. As it was announced, that I am chairing the sessions as well as I am also giving the talk. And hopefully we see, I just arrived this morning at 1 in the morning. Therefore, hopefully we will go through there easily. My topic is going to be about upcycled food and its halal certification. I don't know if how many of you know what upcycled food is, but I'm going to give you the outline. I will give you a background. What is upcycled food? What's the concern for that halal certification, traceability, and then of course we talk about challenging, and then we conclude that. How many of you know about what is upcycled food is? Raise your hand if you know what upcycled food is. Anybody here know what upcycled food is? Or at least one person know there, he has heard the talk about that. Basically zero waste, what basically that mean is upcycled food is referred to a product made from surplus or discarded food ingredients with the aim of reducing the food waste and promoting sustainability. It's not a recycling, it's upcycling. That means we are using it all that our surplus food. Upcycled food is relatively new food innovations, and you can see we are trying to reduce the waste and have to be sustainability. It involves use of all that surplus raw materials that we have it to create new products for the industry. And upcycling transform might have been considered food waste earlier, but now we are trying to make it as the edible and valuable food products from that one. Therefore, if you can see that the survey was done and upcycled food and beverages, roughly around 70% of the consumer want to buy which is upcycled food is, which is certified upcycled food, but 30% people have no idea what upcycled food is. This is just to give you an example. When you have produce which cannot be presented, which cannot be sold and to the industry, and that's where you will use this kind of food to make a new product from there because it's not presentable to the food industry. And there's a whole cycle for that. Upcycling has become more popular around the world, and it needs to utilize some of the technologies and efficient method. But however, we don't have the technology yet, and because we are trying to figure out how to trace all the ingredients to make sure we can use them for the halal certification or use them as a halal food. Therefore, the technology is still limited, but we're trying to work on that one. You can see the upcycling food advantages. I gave you some example here that if you have some product, you can have some of the product from there, and you can mix. Let's say if you have a meat which have a very bad texture, you can use for elderly. Also, if you have some others leftover materials from some of that fruits and vegetable, you can make it small food for the babies. Similarly, there's a lot of different options we have it to be used. Instead of discard them, we can reuse the food and to make it different product. And you can see the impact of the food waste are huge. 1/3 of the globally food every year, you can see that we never use them. We use 1/3 of our area that basically lands go to the food that never been used. 1 trillion basically you can see the loss in the food waste, and we're trying to do that, reduce that 1 trillion loss. And also 8% of the human that is basically causes greenhouse gases, and we can reduce that one as well with this recycling the waste here. If you can see that for every upcycle certified product or the ingredients sold, food waste is prevented. Right now we have 92 food companies in the world. They are certifying it as upcycled food. We have 317 different upcycled certified product, and we have 164 different food ingredients that are being used in the food industry. Therefore, this is coming up, and we need to make sure we use every single ingredients that should not go to the waste. We can use them in the food application there. And if you can see the impact of that upcycled food, you can see that 467,914 ton of food was diverted, that was annually by just with our upcycling that. Therefore, this is the food otherwise will go waste, and we are using them into the upcycling product. This is some of the example you will see in the US and the Europe, all the upcycled food that's been produced from different materials, and that is basically the solution of that come back the food waste now. What's the concern for us as a halal certifications or for the halal food? What is there we have to concern about this kind of product? If you look on that ingredient sources of upcycled food product may contain ingredients from various sources. It includes some of that surplus discarded ingredients. It may show that ingredients comply with the halal requirement. And of course, we want to make sure they are not contaminated with prohibited ingredients. Therefore, we need to make sure that ingredients we are collecting, they are halal suitable for that. And also the cross-contamination. We need to make sure that all the ingredients we are getting they are not getting contaminated during the transportations with non-halal ingredients. That's concern to us. We want to make sure that all the ingredients completely follow the halal guidelines and they don't have any prohibited substances in it. And we need to make sure they are all halal suitable with that one. Also, we need to see the facilities where we're going to produce that halal upcycle product halal, because during processing, we do not want any contamination happen during that processing. Therefore, we want to make sure the facility you are using it for making it halal product, upcycle halal product, that also has to be free from contamination. There should not be any cross-contamination as well there. Therefore, we need to have an end-to-end traceability of the ingredients. When we're collecting all the upcycle ingredients, we want to make sure that we are collecting all that information, where this ingredient is coming from, where we are getting it, and how we are tracing them, so that we can use it properly to get the halal certification for that. And also consumer awareness. It's important for the consumer to be aware of that halal status of the upcycled food, proper labeling, will also help the certifications, can help the Muslim consumers make informed choices as well. Therefore, also ethical considerations. Some Muslim consumers may have, some scholars may have some concern to use upcycled food, as they often involve repurposing some of the ingredient discarded food. Therefore, ethical concern also may have to be interested in that halal consideration. We need to make sure that all are equally considered when you're making it upcycled halal product. Continuous monitoring. If you can see that regular monitoring and audit by the halal certifying agencies are essential to ensure that ongoing companies are that with the halal standards. Also, especially, you want to make sure that all the upcycled ingredients you're getting it, there is no change over the time. You're getting the same. You have to continuously monitor all the ingredients coming up for the upcycled food so you can use them. Therefore, can we certify halal upcycled food? Of course we can, but there's a lot of challenge for us. What is halal certification? Halal certification of upcycled food basically is a process in which we check the ingredients from where they're coming from. We check the ingredients during processing, if there's any cross-contamination, and we check the ingredients all the way to the packaging. Therefore, we want to make sure that during the whole process, we're following Islamic dietary guidelines. There's no cross-contamination there. That's basically is the halal certification take place. And of course, it is a halal certification is globalized industry now throughout the world last decade. Similarly, upcycled food are also growing trend. Therefore, this will be very soon that we'll be certifying it upcycled food as a halal food as well. But we need to know if that upcycled food is halal suitable or not. What is the ingredients, where they're coming from, what are the sources, where you're collecting it, how you do that. It's a long process for that as well. What are the barriers to that halal certification? This is doable, but again, we need to ability to trace every upcycled ingredients. We want to make sure that every ingredients we're getting it, they are halal suitable. Certifying bodies uses an evidence-based system. Sometimes we use some kind of certificates. We need to make sure they have some kind of proof that is the halal suitable ingredients coming from there. And organized systems is needed to trace the path of upcycled food ingredients that come up. It's doable, but take a lot of time and efforts. Here is, you can see the example here. Small specific contamination may have missed. If you have here, you can see that during processing of the upcycled food, you use a lot of enzyme, you use a lot of different ingredients, and you don't know the status, what ingredients was sourced, what was used. If we want to make sure that during the upcycling, if you're getting any of the upcycled materials, they are halal suitable, they are not contaminated, and also information on the product processing may not be, of course, relayed properly. And we need to ability to track all the ingredients from when they started from there, processing it for fermentation, all the way to the packaging or any other process. I just give one example here that you can use that as well. Here's another example when you talk about barriers. Since there is no any regulated market for that new materials that used to be halal, if any upcycled materials can be used. In this case, I gave example. If you have upcycles, basically just a grain, and you want to use them, make sure they are properly processed. No enzyme was used. It was proper, and all the processing during stages. We don't use any additives. We don't use any hidden ingredients. When you process them, we want to make sure that all the upcycled ingredients are processed properly and there was no cross-contamination there. Also, we just don't want it to make it halal. We want to make it halal and tayyiban. For that, we need to make sure this is free from microbes, free from diseases, free from artificial colorant, free from toxin, free from infected ingredients, free from heavy metals, free from also food additives, some of that, chemicals, all that. We need to make sure the food that you're making, it's not only halal, but it's halal al-tayyiban. For that halal al-tayyibans, we need to make sure that we also look to the other side of that. It's not only the halal area, but we also want to look of all other things as well, to want to make sure they are okay with that as well. Therefore, what are the solutions for the halal certification for the upcycled food? Halal certifications for upcycled foods, for the animal and plant products, more efficient through the electronic. I mentioned sanitary certification system, some kind of certificate that you can issue when you issue the all the different kind of ingredients. Also, the exchange help both exporting and importing countries. That we want to make sure that's a transparent, it's a quick, traceable information, and there's no risk for any mismanagement. And throughout the food chain, we want to make sure that wherever the upcycled material started, the whole chain is we have to identify them, we can audit them, we can make sure that we have traceability for all that. And we also have to have a standardization of the documents for the ingredients, for the traceability system. Whatever the ingredients we are going to use it, we want to make sure they are standardized, and we have used that one. To conclude my talk, upcycle food is an emerging food trends which required adaptation and vigilance to ensure that the product you meet the dietary requirement for the Muslim consumer. Even with that most cutting edge technology, we have blockchain, we have IoT, we have artificial intelligence, we have some other certification system to help facilitate the process, but still it is challenge technologies, have a limit of they have to trace the sources. Therefore, we want to make sure we use all the technology we have, trace all the sources for the upcycle food before we can make it halal certification. And with upcycle ingredients, there are too many components that can be into that can go wrong into the making of the new upcycle food product that cannot be traced. Therefore, there's too many issues that can arise. And of course, for the contaminations, upcycling food poses a lot of hazard for each of the steps. And we want to make sure that we follow every single steps that we can conclude accordingly. Therefore, some companies are currently making an effort. We have not seen any company yet that has halal certified upcycle food, but there's a lot of requests for that, and we will see in the future. Therefore, there's a lot of food companies that are getting into that area, and upcycle food is viable to attain the halal certification. Due to the expanding technology and the more globalization economy, we may see both halal certified and upcycle certified food very soon. With that, thank you very much. I appreciate your attention. Now, I am going to start my other role. I'm going to call my next speaker here. Our next speaker is Dr. Shahid Bashir. He is a food scientist from University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. And of course, right now he is with the University in Punjab. And he basically has worked quite a few places. He is a member of Punjab Food Authority. And he is in the University of Science and Human Nutrition University in Institute of Food Science Technology. And he will be giving us his presentation. Please, Dr. Bashir, come on here on the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Shahid Bashir, Associate Professor at University Institute of Food Science and Technology, University of Lahore, Pakistan. The topic of my presentation is consumer confidence in halal products, the influence of transparent regulatory assessment. The roadmap of my presentation: introduction, consumer confidence on halal products, transparent regulatory assessment, conclusion, and the recommendations. This is our abstract. The major trend today is the consumer power. How we can understand the consumer power that that policymaker, industry, and consumers recognize the reality of the power of the consumer. And the number of count size matters, how consumers count, and the new consumer network and online is must. You must digitalize. Our theme of the conference is that we digitalize the halal products. So all the process, regulatory assessment, halal certification must be the online or digitalized. And the next one is merging of the values, global urban Muslims, new media platforms, new media contents, post-cultural and Islam, and these are the major trends for the halal certification and halal products. And the COVID-19 have a major impact on the certification and the demands of the halal food and overall the food demands. The consumer behavior up to 26% US and the UK has been increased, 38% increase in the people cooking from the scratch, buying online, ordering online food, and some that can change that. And 40 to 50% of the manufacturers' workforce are unavailable for the on-site. This is another challenge the workforce is not available, and the government policies global food supply chain disruption is another challenge for the after the COVID-19. So, what are the 15 signal of the post-COVID new norms for the global food industries? Or for the industry sides, you can see the from the industry side, the consumer-related and the value chain related, and for the government side, or the policy side, they can improve the confidence of on the halal production and the halal food products for the consumers. I see the state of the global Islamic economy that is based on the all the basis of the halal products. We can discuss that major portion of halal products is of the halal foods. Major chunks for the halal economy is the halal foods. And the global is US 2 trillion in 2021 dollar are consumed for the food and pharmaceuticals, cosmetic, fashion, travel, and that is the Islamic economy. That is the 8.9% per year on the growth rate. And this one is the cumulative annual growth rate of 2.8 trillion by 2025. That's the perception that we can spend 2.8 trillion in at that 4-year gap. And the food, you talk about the food, that is about 6.9% in 2021, and pharmaceutical 6.5%, and the global. Then again, the global Islamic economy data showed by the Dubai, the NAS standards, that is Islamic finance by halal food as 15.5% share of the halal foods. The major countries with the more than 20 investment transaction in 2021, UAE, Indonesia, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. Trade opportunity, we can see that the trade opportunity, the major countries are the number one is Saudi Arabia, Muslim countries, UAE, Turkey, Malaysia, Indonesia. Top one are the non-Muslim, that is China and the USA, Brazil, and the seen again the food supply issues on the COVID-19 impact on the food supply issues and the food supply chain, food security, weather events, food inflation are the major problems faced the halal food production. The top countries of the halal food exporters, even currently not the Muslim, but from the USA, Brazil, and other countries, they are the exporters. And the share in the halal market is also that we can see that the Russia, China, India have the major share other than the Islamic countries. Then again, repetition that we can skip the slides. This is some case study and research publications that are, you can see that the difference in the perception of between the Muslim and non-Muslim consumer and the purchasing intention of the halal food in Indonesia and Indonesia-based studies that the non-perform halal certification. If you not perform the halal certification, that a positive perception again Muslim consumer and non-Muslim consumer have a positive perception of the halal products even, and this is a still disagreement about the attitude toward the food with the halal logo. So what is the reason that we can work for the halal certification with the authentication of the that logo? Government at this stage, government role to educate about the halal foods is very critical. That we can educate what is the need for why we need halal food and what is the need for the halal food. And halal food is almost a safe food for the guarantee consumption by the all consumer. If your food is halal, that is tayyib, that is safe for the consumption of the food. Another studies and the demands of the consumer adoption of the halal cosmetics. That also we can see that this found a 14 article mainly discuss about the critical point related to the fact should taken into consideration they provide plus point extra to that local and international manufacturer to the global market for the halal cosmetic product that creates both Muslim and non-Muslim communities. They can also if for their price, promotion, place, effect this. And the main examined responses about the purchase and attitude are the major share of responses, and our halal perception have very small or two number of articles. Less data is available on the halal confidence and determination. Another studies acceptance of the halal food products among non-Muslim consumer in Indonesia. They also show that that mostly less studies available on the satisfaction and this time. And the next our topic is how can we improve the satisfaction and the consumer confidence by transparent regulatory assessment and the halal products. If we have a transparent regulatory assessment and the halal product, we can improve the consumer, Muslim and non-Muslim consumers about the halal products, halal food, and halal all the halal items. And the background of halal product is must be from the halal Muslim company, halal certified, and all the steps in this. The challenge, current challenges are the lack of the transparency and regulatory assessment. The assessment are not performed according to international standards. If we have local standards and different countries have different standards, if we have a uniform standard that is grateful for the international market, we can compete with the international market. And the inconsistent standards and the certification process. So that same again that we have the not consistent in the standards for the certification process to cope the international standards. The influence of transparent regulatory assessment, maybe efficiency and effectiveness, international collaboration, consumer protection, environmental and social impact, adaptability of the change, and data privacy and security. They can influence, these all factors influence the transparency and regulatory assessment. This is public participation. If you have public have more participation about the regulatory transparent affairs, transparent regulatory process often involve opportunities for the public input. The inclusion allows diverse perspective to be considered, contributing to the creation of the more balanced and effective regulations that reflect the need and the concern of the various stakeholders. If the public are confident about the product, the process, then we have more confidence about the halal products. Why transparent regulatory assessment needed? Why we need for the transparent for the trust building, compliance, innovation, and the international collaboration, consumer protection, and the sectorial and environmental responsibilities. For achieve all these parameters, we have need transparent regulatory assessment for the halal and foods and all other sectors. And the regulatory assessment, impact assessment must be informed decision making and minimizing unintended consequences to minimize the unintended consequences. What is this? So how can we measure the transparency? Evaluating the accessibility of the information, inclusion of the stakeholder engagement, and clarity of the decision-making process. We can check the transparency of any halal product. And transparent regulatory assessment, key indicators for the transparent regulatory assessment are the clarity of the regulations, public consultation, stakeholder engagement, regulatory impact assessment, decision-making process, performance metrics, regulatory reforms, appeals, and redress mechanism, performance metrics, regulatory reforms, and repetition. And what are the tool for the regulatory assessment? Transparent regulatory assessment are the regulatory or policy outlook, World Bank, different. They are not for only halal and all over the world food system or other products. We have the different organization or tools for the IMF, World Bank report or observation, and United Nations Economics Commission for the European tools, and the regulatory compliance cost model, public participation impact assessment tool, different tool to the for the transparent regulatory assessment. What are the benefit of the transparent regulatory assessment? The clear information and understanding. We can improve the understanding and clear information on our products. fair treatment and consumer protection, product safety and quality assurance, reduction of the information, and the responsive and accessible complaint mechanism, market competition and innovation, public consultation and inclusion and predictability and the stability of the products. We already know that what is the evolution of halal. Muslim company must be Muslim company, and halal product, halal supply chain, and halal value chain. That would comply the all halal products. Its conclusion: right information on consumer confidence toward halal labeled food and to assess the level of confidence of the halal food product which carry halal logo. Must be as a food. See the food first. First of all, we see the halal logo. That is halal certified or not. And second is that we can this which agencies, which bodies certified that. It is also involved in implementing consistent standards and certification process to ensure transparency and reliability in the halal industries. And some recommendations that establishment of the transparency regulatory assessment framework for the halal product along with the guidelines and must be ensured, and the implementation of consistent standard and certification process. We should retain consistent in the all the standard and regulations that we have more confidence our consumer not Muslim but non-Muslim also have satisfaction about the halal product. Thank you very much. These references. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And we're going to call the last speaker for the session here. Brother Muhammad Ropeng. And he is a basically graduate of Al-Azhar University, Cairo, BSc in microbiology. And also he studies Master Science again in University of Putra, Malaysia. And he has a lot of careers working in the biotechnology, life sciences university. And he will be giving us the talk about some of the leaf extracts as alternative to that conventional antibiotic against that antimicrobial resistant microorganism. With that, floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for your very kind introduction. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen, wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma yassir wa la tu'assir, Allahumma atmim bil khair. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizing committee for this opportunity to share some of my research activities. I mean, my colleagues and I that we had conducted for the last few years. The title of my presentation for this morning is Utilizing Anacardium occidentale leaf extract as alternative to the conventional antibiotics against some of the antimicrobial resistant microorganisms. Okay, these are some of my presentation outlines for this morning. I'll start my presentation with a bit introduction on what is the antimicrobial agent as well as what is the anacardium actually. Okay, Prof. Miam just now started his presentation, was asking about what is. So I'm starting also by asking what is anacardium actually. Okay. And what is antimicrobial? As we know that antimicrobial, I guess everyone knows already. But anacardium is also quite familiar. If we know the local name, yeah. So this one is it is a quite scientific name. But if I say this one is anacardium occidentale. Okay, so it is a Brazilian and Lower Amazon native originally, but now it has been spread to overall the countries, even in South of Asia, We have abundantly in Malaysia, Brunei, and as well as in Thailand. We know that it is as cashew nut. Okay. In Brunei, we call it as jagus. In Malaysia, we call it as gajus. And in southern part of Thailand, in Patani dialect, we call it waktege. Ketere, huh? Okay. And let me try to pronounce it in Thai language. Okay. They call it as mak muang himapan. Okay. Is it correctly pronounced? Okay. Okay. Traditionally, this vegetable, I mean, this plant is being utilized as a fresh vegetables during the foods. As you can see there, abundance of leaf that have been utilized, especially the young leaf. It's kind of a vegetable. But scientifically, there are many studies have been conducted. If some of you still remember last year when I presented this, almost the same topic, but it was on talking on the anti-diabetics. But this year, focused on these antimicrobial agents. So there are so many studies have been conducted. The plant has the ability to inhibit the growth of microorganisms. And especially it's been used as one of the antimicrobial agents against antimicrobial resistance microorganisms. Okay. Okay. So what is antimicrobial? As most of us know already, that when we have any kind of illness, I mean, sometimes you got the flu, and then when you go to see a doctor, the most probably what this doctor will prescribe is antibiotic. Okay, but the problem is that the what we call it, the way how we utilize these microbial agents is sometimes has got a negative effect. Why? Because some of the microorganisms, for the survival, they try to mutate and then eventually to become antibiotic resistance. Okay. And as we know that for the antibiotic or antimicrobial, mainly they have 4 mechanisms to inhibit the growth of microorganisms. One of them by inhibit the growth of microorganism by damaging the cell wall synthesis. Okay, so whenever microorganisms, when they have no cell wall, then they cannot survive. The other one is by prevention of the cell membrane. Prevention of nucleic acid synthesis and so on. Okay. So this is the antibiotic resistant microbe. As you know, in medical sectors, they quite familiar with the MRSA, VRE, MDR, TB, and CRE. These are microorganisms that know to be resistant against antibiotic. Okay. How these microorganisms become resistant? Some of them referring to the ability to produce the so-called enzyme, the beta-lactamase, because one of the mechanisms when the beta-lactam types of antibiotic comes to the cell wall, and then the microbes producing this enzyme will inhibit the function of beta-lactamase, and eventually they become resistant to this antibiotic. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, that antimicrobial resistance possess a significant worldwide public health, okay, due to treatment failure. So when it becomes antibiotic resistance, whatsoever antibiotic you give to the patients, and then it won't cure the problem. Okay. The second one is the cause of treatment. When it becomes antibiotic resistant, then it needs more money to pay in order to find out what is the new antibiotic in order to make it possible to inhibit the growth of microorganisms. And then the third one is increased susceptibility to complication and fatalities arising from the infection. Okay, so these are the objectives of the study. Even though the main objective is to inculcate the halal and tayyiban lifestyle, as we know that as a Muslim, seeking for the halal is a must. It's not only in the food sector, but in everything of our life must be halal. But sometimes that we forget that halal is a package. It's not only halal, but it must be tayyibah. Whatsoever you need to have in your life is halal and tayyibah. So therefore, to inculcate the halal and tayyiban lifestyle, we need to disseminate the knowledge to the public, saying that having fresh vegetables is good, it is halal, and at the same time it is tayyib. Okay, we know that there are so many products in the market without mentioning any names or brand of this product. We have many fast food in the market. It is halal certified, but yet it's the way how we deal with it, the way how we consume it, sometimes is less tayyibah, even though it is halal. But now, what we need to inculcate in our life is make it both of them, halal and tayyibah. And this is the main objective. Actually, in our study is how to make this plant as a vegetable, and in order to make it our life, it become tayyibah. Okay. So one of the objective is we try to find out what is the source of natural that's become alternative to the antibiotic, and especially against those microbial that's known to be resistant to the antibiotic. And the second one is to find out whether this Anacardium occidentale possess this ability, and if yes, so we need to do some kind of optimization study. Okay, since time is quite limited, so this is some of the equipments and the methods that we use in our study. Okay, and these are the results. Okay, if you can see, this is the clear zones around the microbial growth, indicating this extract from Anacardium occidentale leaf possess the ability to inhibit the growth of microorganisms. Okay, and then optimization being conducted with the different concentration of the extract. Okay, and then the results indicating that the diameter of the what we call it, the inhibition zones, indicating some of them have the potential to be used as antibiotic against those antibiotic resistant microorganisms. Okay, so I mean the detail of the study, we tested against 22 pathogenic bacteria, but in this presentation is just part of them. Hopefully the full paper will be published, and then all the results will be available in this published paper later on. Okay. So as a conclusion, as I said, the antimicrobial activity appears to be linked to the inhibition of beta lactamases by the N-acadium acid. So as I said, that some microorganism has the ability to inhibit the growth, inhibit the activity of beta lactamase. But in this study, we found out this extract has the N-acadic acid, which be able to inhibit the activity of beta lactamase. Therefore, the beta lactamase that produced by microorganisms no more function, and then it can kill the bacteria. Okay. Okay, so this is the acknowledgement. I would like to thank all of these parties involved in this research by funding grant research and as well. Okay, so this is a research team, just quickly. And this is some discussion with this cosmetic company in Malaysia in order to, this is the potential product that we prepared just now. I mean, before leaving to Brunei, I was in Malaysia, so we have a discussion with the company to become, to produce one of the product known as a Libby product, which is a body lotion that has a potential to kill some of microorganisms. And this is some of the competitions that we have involved in, and then we have got some awards, the gold medal as well, about these, the potential of this extract from the plant N-acadium. So with that, I will thank end my presentation. Thanks everyone for the time for listening to my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to say thanks to my both speakers. And with that, I conclude our session. Thank you very much for listening. Back to that, you. Thank you.
So thank you very much to our honorable speaker and moderator for this fruitful and insightful contribution to the session, which is entitled Innovation in Halal Sustainability and Healthcare. So on this occasion, may I have the honor to invite Associate Professor Dr. Vinay Dahlan, Founding Director of the Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University, to be upon the stage for presenting some tokens of appreciation to our honorable speaker and moderator of the session, please. First, may I please invite Professor Dr. Mian Riaz from Islamic Food and Nutrition Council of America, the United States of America. So a big round of applause for our first speaker. Yes, please look at the camera and smile for the photo session. Next, may I have the honor to invite Associate Professor Dr. Shahid Bashir from the University of Lahore of Pakistan. Yes, a big round of applause for our second speaker of the session. And next, may I have the honor to invite Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Ropaning Sutlong from the University of Islam Sultan Sharif Ali of Brunei Darussalam. Yes, a big round of applause to our third speaker of the fifth session. And before we end this session, may I have the honor of our speaker again on the stage for the group photo session. Please be upon the stage. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fifth session of our international conference. A big round of applause for all the honorable speaker and moderator. And thank you very much to Dr. Vinay Dahlan. So let me inform you that afterwards we are going to have a short break, a short coffee break for about 15 minutes, and then we are going to resume our stage at 10 and 30 for the awarding ceremony of the academic presenter of IHSA. Yes. So, okay, right now you have about 15 minutes for a short coffee break outside this room. And then we are going to resume our program at 10:30 for the awarding ceremony. Yes, please enjoy our coffee break to freshen yourself in the first session.